What's the most ridiculous thing you've done in your life? And after you did it, was it worth it?
Oh my god, bro!
Well, in today's video, I'm gonna tell you about the time I challenged Ludwig every single day for an entire year. And if you don't believe me, the whole idea started when I sent over this little video to Ludwig during one of his live streams, and he seemed to like it. You know how Ludwig has bros versus pros? Okay, to save some time, it was basically a spin-off of Bro vs. Bro, but instead of playing against his friends, he would play against his viewers that were actually small content creators.
That's a better idea.
Now, I know people are gonna think two things instantly. Why even challenge Ludwig? For content, baby! And the other thing is people probably think I'm only doing this for exposure. And yeah, that's partially true, but if you've been doing YouTube long enough, you know that exposure doesn't equal success. I mean, look at a creator like The Veil. He's worked alongside Ludwig and even made a video about how shoutouts can actually be a bad thing for small creators. So exposure wasn't a big reason for this challenge. The legit reason for this crazy idea was that I wanted to challenge myself. Now, I'm not gonna go into much detail, but in 2021 and 2022, I had a really crappy time. But basically, I went from being a very consistent creator to being one that could barely post a video. So the idea of posting videos daily seemed like it would be a good idea to help me regain that consistency. So the plan was simple. Play every game that Ludwig plays in Bro vs. Bro, or in his live streams, and make YouTube shorts out of them. It was easy peasy, until it got boring really fast. I knew if I couldn't keep myself interested, no one else was gonna be interested, so I decided to shift to playing games that I thought I would struggle with against Ludwig. Enter chess. I was pretty excited about this one because chess.com actually had a Ludwig bot that I could play against. Unfortunately, this is how I treated Ludwig's bot. Now sure, maybe it took a few games, but even professional athletes warm up before a game. It was at this point that I was kind of starting to panic because it had only been a month and a half and I was already running out of ideas for content. That's when Ludwig got obsessed with this little game called Super Auto Pets. The game looked interesting enough and anything was better than continuing to do my horrible type racer speeds. What I didn't know was I was about to embark on a journey that would last a quarter of a year. If you think that sounds like a long time, I'm just as shocked as you, because when I sat down to start writing out this video, I thought I started playing Super Auto Pets on day 70 of this challenge, not day 49. The reason for this is I made a stupid little challenge with myself that if I didn't get a win by day 75, I would do a live stream that would not end until I got a win. Well, you could probably guess what happened. Day 75 comes around, I don't get that win, so that means the live stream's gonna happen. There was also this little moment that I thought about quitting the whole challenge because I was questioning why I was even doing it, but I kinda just brushed it off. When I finally got around to the Super Auto Pets live stream, it was day 93, and I thought the stream would go no more than 3 hours. I mean, I got pretty close to winning early on in the stream, but sadly, that was the closest I was gonna get all day. As each hour passed, it felt like the air was getting sucked out of the room. Almost 10 straight hours of Super Auto Pets, and I couldn't capture a win to save my life. Then, I ultimately gave up.
So after being humiliated for 10 straight hours, Juice took that personally. For the next 40 days, he played Super Auto Pets and lost Super Auto Pets. He started studying the game. He started learning from the greats. As the days went on, he got better. He learned new combinations of animals and learned which animals were worth it to him. He rose to new Super Auto Pets heights. All this training finally led to day 133. While streaming, Juice entered a game that would change him forever and put him in the history books. The first few rounds started out like any normal game of Super Auto Pets. You take what the game gives you and make the best of it. After round 2, Juice would make his first smart move with this one.
Was that a calculated move?
Not really. I mean, I saw a few people do it before, and I've always heard swans were mean.
Juice slowly progressed through the game, but it wasn't until round 5 that he would make a move that would alter the rest of the game.
Ooh, hippo!
At the time, did you know the hippo trade would make such a difference?
No, I just always thought I had a lot in common with Moto Moto.
Over the course of the next 3 rounds, Juice will find out just how important the hippo trade was because it dominated the competition.
Hippo supremacy!
How did it feel to have hippo supremacy?
I mean, it felt pretty awesome. I mean, it was so good that I wasn't paying attention.
But like every great empire, it must fall at some point. Juice would lose for the first time in row 9, but you wouldn't know from his demeanor.
Damn, that was a good ox. It's all good.
But the attitude would change in round 10
No!
when he would get absolutely destroyed.
We're gonna get steamrolled, aren't we?
Did the second loss take you by surprise?
Yeah, I was shocked, man. I mean, I'm used to buffaloes losing. They do it in 4s.
I believe it's actually a bison.
It's actually a bison. Shut the fuck up. Anybody ever tell you that?
Yeah?
Round 11 would be no different. The nervousness will set in because Juice was killed by a stacked kangaroo.
How are these teams so strong, bro? Alright, we ain't winning this, boys.
All hope seemed lost. It was this moment that the depression was setting in. But what Juice didn't know was he was about to get some encouraging words from an unknown ally.
You are Maya Higa.
I am Maya Higa. I could win this. I can do it.
How did those words affect you?
I mean, it made me realize I am Maya Higa. I mean, who knows more about animals than her?
Some people might say Steve Irwin's kid.
Are you always like this?
His newfound confidence made Juice make a late game change that gave himself a shot at survival.
Do we got a chance here, baby?
After securing the 9th trophy, something he had never done before, it seemed like the anxiety started to set
I
in.
don't know if I could do this.
Juice was not a religious man, but in this moment, he prayed to God for the first time.
This is it. Pray to whatever freaking God. You know what? We pray to the boobs. All the anime boobs out there, we pray. We need you to give us the mommy milker fucking aura to win this.
Why did you pray?
I don't know, dude. I was probably horny.
Alright, that's it. We're done.
This guy sucks.
It all came down to this. With 1 heart left and 1 trophy to get, Juice was moments away from greatness or complete heartbreak.
Come on. Yes. 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 Come on. Hippo supremacy. Hippo supremacy. No way. We did it. We finally fucking did it, baby. Yes. Finally. After all of this time, we fucking did it, baby. Woo! Get the fuck out of here. We're the best. You were here and we won, boys. We did it. We're the best.
A lot of people say it doesn't matter how a story starts, it only matters how it ends. I'm Bob Shilly Shally, and that's the legend of Juice from the Box.
Now, you would think that would be the perfect ending to the story, right? But you might have forgotten that my dumbass was challenging Ludwig every single day until he faced me in a 1v1. What makes it worse was by the time I finally got my first win in Super Auto Pets, Ludwig already moved on to another game. So without being able to enjoy my win, I had to move on to playing Trackmania. I played this game for the next 40 to 50 days, and it was kind of cool. It was the first time that my shorts were actually getting a pretty decent amount of views, and people started to care about me getting better at the game and took interest in the challenge. It was around day 180 when Fall Guys decided to come back from the dead, and so I decided to start making content in that and Trackmania to kind of try to bring in a new audience. The challenge was starting to become more about growing the channel than it was actually about facing Ludwig, which was crazy because weeks later on day 225, I would end up shutting down my longest running YouTube channel. After that happened, I really began questioning why I was even doing the challenge. I mean, I had already done over 200 days, I would say that is pretty consistent. I did get a lot of content out of it, but if I did somehow manage the 1v1 against Ludwig, I really didn't have a channel or anything to promote anymore. Because in reality, the Shorts channel was never meant to be the main channel. I only created it so I wouldn't bombard people with a whole bunch of Shorts videos. But I told myself that I needed to continue the challenge because if I quit, I would only be doing the same thing that I've done for the last 2 years. You see, the one thing you might not be able to tell when you're watching these shorts was once I hit the upload button, I was instantly hit with anxiety and panic attacks. These silly little shorts videos were the only consistent and somewhat positive thing in my life at the time. So onward we went, racking up video after video in this Lud vs. Bud challenge. Day 240 came, then 250. 260, all the way until day 280, where my dumbass thought it might be fun to try the games in the God Gamer Gauntlet, because I was like, if Ludwig beat them, they can't be that hard. Turns out I found a game freaking harder than Super Auto Pets, and it's called Getting Over It.
But that's not you, you're an acrobat. You could swallow a baseball bat.
Getting Over It would become my new Super Auto Pets, but there wasn't going to be riding any magical unicorns to victory on this one. I played that game for 51 days, and I had enough. I learned the Ludwig skip though. Oh! By this time, it's day 340 in the challenge. I've been defeated by a game and I can finally see the finish line. And although I mentioned possibly quitting a couple of times before this, it was around this time that I just didn't care anymore. It's like I was running a marathon and I was 10 feet away from the finish line, but didn't want to cross it. I thought about all the time that I had put into the challenge and if it would just end up being a waste of time. I never really set a hard deadline for when this challenge would end. A year seemed like the perfect stopping point. Some people said I should have went for 420 days for the memes. But if I did that, I mean, what's another 80 days to get to 500? So I told myself that I had to cross the finish line that was a year, because if nothing came from this experience, I would at least get a video out of it for the new channel. So with 20 days left, I decided the best way to end the challenge would be to cycle through every game we played throughout the entire year. So with all of that being said and done, was challenging Ludwig every single day for an entire year worth it? Kinda? I mean, it all depends on perspective. If the main goal was the 1v1, then I totally failed. But as I mentioned earlier, the challenge quickly became something more than just the 1v1. By the way, I should point this out, I could have done a lot more to get Ludwig's attention, but I didn't want to be a pest. I wanted these videos to naturally come across his radar. I didn't want to be like, yo, Ludwig, look at me doing all this stuff, bro. If he ended up seeing the videos, awesome. But if he didn't, at least I had other reasons for doing this challenge. Another thing to think about is a year is a long time and things change. At the start of this challenge, I was hoping to use whatever momentum I gained to relaunch my channel. But by the end of it, I ended up leaving that channel altogether. But I think I'm kind of dodging the question. Do I think the challenge was worth it? The most important thing I got out of this challenge was that I can be consistent with anxiety and panic attacks at the end of the day. I still got a video out of it, and maybe, just maybe, that video helps grow the new channel. So in my book, I'd call that a win. But I will say this, Ludwig, if by any crazy chance you see this video and you're down for a 1v1, tell me the stakes, tell me the time, and tell me the place, and I'm there. Be scared. Also, it's been a year, my guy.